All right, let's get right into it. You know, for any big commercial building, the boiler system, it's not just a piece of equipment. It's absolutely critical infrastructure. It's about way more than just heat. It's really about making sure your whole operation runs smoothly without a single problem. So today we're going to break down the blueprint for getting that installation perfect so you have total reliability from the get-go. No, seriously, just think about that for a second. What really happens? When a commercial boiler just gives up, it's not some minor inconvenience. We're talking about your entire business grinding to a halt. It can mess with safety protocols, and you could be looking at tens of thousands of dollars in lost time and emergency repairs. Usually in the freezing cold, right? The stakes? Yeah, they're incredibly high. And that's the whole point, right? It's so much more than just a big heater. It's literally the building's lifeline. It's what keeps your employees and customers comfortable. It's what keeps operating conditions safe. And it is absolutely non-negotiable for day-to-day operations. I mean, think about places like hospitals or huge office towers. So the big question is, how do you make sure you avoid that kind of disaster? How do you guarantee you get a system that's actually built to last? Well, it all starts way, way before anyone even picks up a wrench. It starts with the assessment phase. Honestly, this is where a great project is made or broken. Look, a really deep site assessment is completely non-negotiable. You absolutely have to know the building's specific load requirements, like how much heating power do you actually need. After that, you figure out the best fuel type. And this part is crucial. You have to plan out exactly how this new boiler is going to mesh with all the other systems already in place. If you mess this part up, well, you're just asking for trouble down the road. All right, so this whole planning stage really comes down to three key ideas. You can think of them as the pillars holding up the entire project, the things that make sure your system is reliable, efficient, and lasts for years. So pillar number one, proper sizing. And listen, it's so easy to think that bigger is better, right? But with boilers, that is a classic mistake. And it's a really expensive one, trust me. An oversized boiler can cause just as many headaches as one that's too small. The main issue with a boiler that's too big is a thing called short cycling. Basically, the system heats up way too fast, shuts off, and then boom, it has to fire right back up again moments later. All that starting and stopping, it causes incredible wear and tear, it wastes a ton of energy, and it can seriously shorten the life of your brand new, expensive equipment. The bottom line is, the sizing has to be, well, perfect, just right. Okay, on to our second pillar, high-efficiency equipment. This one is all about thinking bigger picture. It's not just about the price tag on day one. It's about the total cost to own and run that boiler for its entire life. And when you look at the numbers, the difference is just, it's night and day. An old clunky system is just bleeding money on fuel and repairs. And let's not even get started on the emissions. But a modern, high-efficiency system, you're talking about major savings on your operating costs and a much smaller carbon footprint. It really is a win-win for your wallet and for the planet. And that leads us right to our third and final pillar, reliable control systems. I love this analogy. If the boiler is the heart of your system, the controls are the brains. You could have the most amazing, top-of-the-line hardware, but if the controls aren't smart, you are never, ever going to get the performance you paid for. So modern systems have these incredible advanced controls that just dial everything in. For instance, you have weather compensation, which lets the boiler look at the outside temperature and adjust itself. On a warmer day, it backs off and saves energy. So smart. Then there's modulating firing controls. Instead of just being on or off, the boiler can adjust its flame, kind of like a gas stove. This makes it way more efficient and super responsive to what the building actually needs. All right, so the new boiler's in place. Job's done. We can all go home, right? Nope, not even close. Now comes the final, and I mean absolutely critical stage, testing and commissioning. This is where you prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the system works exactly the way it was designed to. You make sure it's safe, it meets all the codes, and it's 100% ready to go. There's this great quote from a facility manager that just nails it. It really gets to the heart of why you cannot skip these final checks. Sure, rushing through it might save you a day, maybe two. But believe me, that will cost you months of headaches, angry phone calls, and tenant complaints later on. It's just not worth it. So what are we actually talking about when we say proper testing? Well, it's things like hydrostatic testing, basically pressurizing the system to make sure there are zero leaks. You've also got detailed combustion diagnostics to be sure the boiler is burning fuel cleanly, safely, and efficiently. And of course, you're following a super detailed commissioning checklist, ticking off every single part to make sure it's all working just right. And you know, all of this, It all leads back to what is probably the single most important decision you, as a building owner or facility manager, are going to make: choosing the right partner for the job. Because you can have the best plans, the best equipment money can buy, but if the actual installation isn't done right, none of it matters. So, what should you look for? First, a proven track record. You want someone who's done this kind of big commercial project before and done it well. They need to give you clear, transparent timelines. They should offer solid warranties, not just on the equipment, but on their work. And here's a big one: they need to give you a clear maintenance plan so you know exactly how to keep that new system running perfectly for years to come. So that just leaves us with one final thought. One last question for you to chew on. Whether you're planning a big upgrade or you're in the middle of a stressful emergency replacement, take a really good hard look at your process. Because if you focus on these principles, a solid assessment, the right equipment, and serious testing, you can make sure your building's most important engine isn't just installed, it's truly built to last.